Hi guys, and welcome back into my kitchen. I'm Derek, I'm the low protein chef here at Nutrition. Today, just a little video, and this is because in January we shared a video to make some low protein bread using our low protein mix. And then we had a few questions just about yeast and how it works and if it wasn't rising enough. So I thought I'd just jump on and do this little quick video just explaining all about yeast and how it works. So let's talk about how we get yeast started and what yeast is. So yeast is a living organism. In the freeze-dried yeast, there's one cell of yeast which has been coated, so it's like a tablet. When you add liquid to that, that dissolves the outside coating, and then the yeast inside can then start activating or start working. So let me show you how I do it. Tip the yeast into a bowl or into a little jug, and you see they're like really tiny, small little balls of yeast. Yeast needs four things to survive, or at least to start working. So we need liquid, we need warmth, we need food, and we need time. So these four elements we can kind of control. We can't control all of them. So the first one is liquid. So you can use water, you can use Snow Pro, you can use low protein drink, you could use any plant-based milk, whatever that kind of recipe states, we're going to need liquid. The second thing is warmth, and this is the one thing that you can control in your kitchen, and depending on what time of year it is, and it's February here in Chester and it's cold, so my kitchen is quite cold today, so I do need to control that heat or that warmth that we're going to need for the yeast to work. So I use water from a boiled kettle. It's allowed then to go coolish. So pour that over. This should be at just above blood temperature. So when we pop our finger in, you can keep it in there and it's just warm. Get that temperature just right, and then the yeast will start activating. To help that activate and to bubble up and to grow, we need to feed it. So it needs some form of sugar. So we can use caster sugar, granulated sugar, brown sugar. You can use honey, agave syrup, anything that's in there, and you just need a little bit of sugar in there. Mix the two together. See, then it'll kind of turn into like a putty colour, so it's like a little bit like a muddy water. Keep stirring until all the granules of the yeast have dissolved. They'll kind of float to the top. So you might get what looks like a little bit of scum on the top of this, but it's just that yeast that's kind of joined together. Again, give it a really good stir, and then place it somewhere warm. That can be next to a radiator, or if you've got some cooking going on, you can put it by the oven. Even if it's just your kitchen is kind of warmish, especially in the summer, this works tends to work a lot quicker. What you can do is place that bowl into another bowl with some warm water in, which keeps that temperature, and then it'll start activating. The one thing that we can't do with yeast is control the time aspect. So again, if we add too much sugar to this, it's going to take longer to work and it could kill the yeast. If the water's too hot, that can kill the yeast. All of them things we can control, but we can't control the time. I mixed exactly that same mixture, and that's what's in this bowl. So you guys can see that this has started to ferment. You get all of these bubbles on top of the liquid, which means our yeast is activated and it's working. So you can see all of that foam on there. The yeast is feeding off the sugar, so that then multiplies. As the yeast multiplies, it releases carbon dioxide, and then that's what your bubbles are. So if you mix this and you don't then get this stage, that yeast is not working, it's died. So that's why we always say do this before you add it to the recipe, because then you're not wasting all your low protein mix and all your other ingredients. So after 20 minutes, half an hour, if you don't get this, this hasn't worked. tip it away and start again. That's the biggest tip in baking that you can do. If it started to work, you've got the yeast working. So when we add it to the low profile mix and we add salt and that in there, you know the bread's then going to start working. Once you've mixed your dough, you can then control the heat of that. So again, you can pop that tin into some warm water and you can keep that kind of temperature, that steamy environment that yeast likes, to kind of double and get your bread to rise. But if you don't have a lot of time, I prove mine in the fridge overnight. So I take this mixture, add it to all the other ingredients, mold it and pop it into my tin. I then put some oiled plastic wrap over the top, pop it in the fridge. You can leave it for 24 hours, 48 hours, and it will just grow very slowly because it's not in a warm environment, it's in a cool environment. Take it out, give it 20 minutes outside, and then you can pop it into the oven. The biggest tips are what we've gone through. So think liquid, warmth, food, time. If you remember them, we can get our yeast to work, and hopefully that's answered some of your questions to get your low profile bread proving properly and getting your yeast working. So if you've got any other questions about bread or yeast, drop a comment under the video and I'll get back to you and I can answer them. And if not, I'll see you next time back in the kitchen for some more low protein cooking. See you later, guys. Bye.